Welcome back, everybody, to SharkNation Live. We've got Jason here with me today to break down quite a big decision that I went through. So super excited. Number 36. Jason, my man, how's life? How's life?
Loving it. Back from vacay, refreshed, ready to get back after it. When you go away, there's no really going away, right? It's kind of, one of those things that we elect as leaders, right? I mean, we want to be present and all that kind of stuff with our families, but I mean, there's a lot of responsibility on our shoulders that we have to be available for. But good week, awesome time at the beach with the fams, and ready to get back after it. Now, got nothing going on till EXPCon in Halloween, so ready to just focus and get back after it.
That's good, man. That's good. You got to reset. I mean, it is hard to get away for sure. Especially as a leader in this business, because there's always questions. But I've said before, it's always a good test of your systems and processes. What, where are you needed? Where are you not needed? And not in a way to not work, but where are you moving the needle and where are you not? Like, where is your time worth spending and where is it a waste of time? Kind of that 80-20%,
Yep.
That was one of the really good things I got from a mastermind I was in last week was with the Reside platform which we'll break down here. But so I've been using Google Tasks, which for anybody, it's in your Google Calendar. There's a task system in there. I use it. If you have Android, it syncs right there. If not, you can download the app on iPhone. Anyway, I was using one task list. What she did was broke it into 80-20. So your 20% tasks were like, lead gen, prospecting, lead follow-up, contract negotiation, and I forget the other one, but maybe it's like posting content or any 20%, the things that actually move the needle. And then on the 80%, right, it's like attend trainings or fix my email or get this thing, reply to inspections, or just things like that, because, and I really liked this analogy. Never heard this before. Just, it's same thing in different ways. But this analogy I really, really liked was, which you might have heard it too, rubber balls and glass balls. The 20% are glass balls that if you drop them, they will break. If you don't reach out to this person and they go see a house today, you lose the sale. If you don't negotiate this deal, it can fall through or not come together. But rubber balls, like, you can watch the recording of the session that you missed, or you can learn the document at night, or so rubber balls being the 80 and glass balls being the 20. That was really, really big for me.
I like that. No, I never heard that before. That's good stuff.
Yeah. That's good, man. That's good. So Jason's back from vacay. He's back in the world.
I go away for 1 week and all of a sudden you're making freaking big decisions. What's going on here?
Yeah.
I get a text while I'm gone. I didn't plan on joining Reside this morning. When I woke up, I'm like, oh boy. So I'd say for the audience, let everybody know kind of what the Reside platform is and how it's kind of helpful for team leaders and all that kind of good stuff.
And the agents. I mean, this decision was made because I think it's the best environment for our agents. So team leader, listen to this call, 100% listen to what Reside can do for you. I'll explain it. But agents, that work with us on our team here, this is or want to or interested or curious, this is a huge value add. I've said to multiple people, if you had all the money in the world and came to me and said, I want to be successful in real estate, that this is the number one environment I would spend money on and put people in, because I felt it myself, and that's what my post was about, all that good stuff. So anyway, so the Reside platform, first and foremost, I've got a few messages about it. It's not a brokerage, as you can see, still at EXP Realty. It is a platform for teams. They help grow and scale teams. Tech, you get technology. Primarily, though, it's coaching. You get the information held accountable to it by the best of the best in the business. John Cheplack, Sunit Agarwal, Preston Guyton, and Nick McLean are the founders, each of which who have built multiple seven-figure businesses. So that's where you come back to, all right, so cool, set the stage a little bit. That's where you come back to the decision was these people have done what I want to do. You should find someone who's done what you want to do and enlist their help to get you there. And that's exactly why I chose this because, and I know my announcement said this was, I'm so sick of guessing. Sure, we've had success. We've sold 100 homes a year. Sure, we've done that and put some systems and processes on autopilot. But, realistically, we plateaued for the last few years. And yeah, market and stuff like that and things. But there's something I'm missing. And I need the best of the best to tell me exactly what that is and keep me accountable to those things. And so that's where it comes. Now, this is it's a very, very large financial commitment. So that's why it's such a big deal. And I had somebody because it's mostly, well, I mean, I think there's a really valuable tech stack too, but that's separate. But that's me and my tech stuff. But
no, let's break it all down. What's the upfront cost? How does it kind of structure monthly? And then, like you said, what's the kind of layout and kind of the breakdown for what you're getting?
Right. So it's all on their website. Check out Reside Platform. I guess I don't know if the costs are and if they ever change. If this video, I'm not, I don't know. Check out with them. But
as of today,
right? As of today, $10,000 sign up fee, $6,000 a month minimum, or 7% of your GCI for the team, whichever is greater, up to a maximum of $16,000. So not a small amount. You do get Follow Up Boss. 50 seats. You get Sierra Interactive.
Explain Sierra for people that might not know.
So,
I'm fresh from vacation, so I'm picking up these little nuggets. I got to help the peeps out here, man. We want details. We want nuggets.
That's why we have you. And that's what we wanted with this podcast. This is what we would talk about on Monday. Jason and I, this is what we would have on the phone calls. So we just wanted to air this out publicly for y'all.
Yes.
So for those deep divers out there who want the information, here it is. So Sierra Interactive, here's the best way to put it. So let's say KV Core, what we had before, or a lot of other IDX websites that are out there. Not all, but most. They're a window. Imagine a frame, like a window frame, right? So the website, like the banner, like your navigation bar is like the frame. And then the listings that are sitting in there are kind of like the picture in that frame. So this is I'm techie, but I'm not like, this is definitely some of this is, a little bit beyond me, but simply put, Google doesn't crawl that for their search engine. So for KV Core's sites, it's like a window into, so you can SEO, search engine optimization. You can appear in Google's searches with a KV Core site for your blog, for stuff that's built within there. But if 123 Main Street, if you've ever Googled an address and it appeared on Zillow and Realtor.com, that's search engine optimization, optimizing that site for that specific address or community for that to appear. It can't on those sites because it's a frame. It's framed in. It's like taking a YouTube video from YouTube and putting it on a website. That won't come up on Google, but it will come up. Your website won't come up on YouTube for that, or on Google for that video, but the YouTube site will, if that makes sense. That is a lot.
This might be the worst explanation, but keep going.
Is it? I don't think I like the window frame.
I know. I'm picking up what you're laying down. So basically, See, I got them rattled today. So basically, all it is it's going to tie into local MLSs for people for searching for houses, and you can add that to your website, right? So then when people go to or are looking in a certain area, you can do search engine optimization, and it's going to tie back into your site and kind of bring that up to the top of the rankings.
So it's like the Taj Mahal of websites because you get organic leads, and it's really functional. There's a mobile app and stuff for it too. I mean, we haven't really gotten fully onboarded and dive into that yet, but I know the platform and really, really excited about that. But I think that's a good thing to bring up because it's kind of what led to this decision for me was, so we want to be transparent as hell in here. I was looking at some products like that because we had switched to Follow Up Boss because it's the best in the game. And I was looking at some plugins. I didn't like the way KV Core was plugging in with it. And so finally, I found a few that would work, but they were expensive, as good tech is, especially on a team level. It gets expensive.
Yeah. People don't
So
realize the value add for the team paying for all this tech for everybody.
here's where the decision comes. And keep in mind, Reside, this community, John Cheplack's environment, we have been going to their events and everything for about 7 or 8 months. Started following John about a year ago at EXP shareholders when he spoke. So this is a year premeditated. I knew about Reside. I've met the founders. I've talked with them. This was not, so I come in and talk to my wife, and we're talking about what we're doing for the second half of the year. And I'm just like, I'm talking about this stuff I'm looking at. And I'm like, I'm sick of guessing. Like, yes, this is great tech. This is great tech. And I can figure it out. By the way, 100% I can figure it out. Because, like, I'm well aware of my drive. Like, I won't fail, period. Like, take that from me watching this. Like, you can do it 100% on your own. But wouldn't it be a lot easier if you just had not somebody give you a magic pill, just tell you, like, hey, I tried what you're doing. When I did it, this worked and this didn't.
Yeah.
It's huge. And then when you have it at the highest of level, somebody who's done exactly what you're trying to do. And I told her, I'm like, we can do these things. And yeah, the cost of these, let's just say it's $2,000 a month for the tech stack. And I got to, piece the information they gave me for free, which they did, and just try to figure it out, or $6,000 a month. Yes, it can go up. And I can I can just come here like a good soldier. What do I do? And go.
Yeah. No, there's so much good value in just, not overthinking it. And hey, they're giving you a blueprint and a game plan to be successful. Just follow the blueprint, right? I literally, before we jumped on our call, I had a call with a team member, and, they were talking about, their activity and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, well, you're not following the process, right? If you just did the 5-day blitz, right, you're tweaking, right? What do we always say about tweakers, right? Don't be a tweaker, right? I go, how about this? For this week, let's just commit to doing the 5-day blitz and not changing anything. Call, text, email every single day. And let's just see what your results will be next week. We'll have another meeting, book it on the calendar, and let's just see what you do. And then, like I said, with the systems and processes, I could track to see if they're doing that and if they're tweaking or whatever, and and then kind of just go from there. But like you said, there's a value to somebody before you that went through it, that went through the learning curve, that took the beat in that to come up with the systems to bring the blueprint for you, and just follow the damn blueprint. Why recreate the wheel?
Because the tech is the tech. I mean, anybody can have we all have the information, but you can have the ingredients to a cake, but if you put them in the wrong order, it's going to come out like shit.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But coming back to what you said there with the agent, and I one of the things I had, and that's what was exposed to me, especially as soon as I got into Reside and started going through some of these trainings, was, yeah, we worked on skills with the consumer, and systems and processes and tech, but I don't know many trainings I've really went through that actually helped with leadership skills.
Yeah.
And this is a perfect example of that. So you take your situation there, and here's what I got, what I was exposed to. You, Jason, your last 6 months, you've got one choice here. What has moved the needle for you? Action or skills?
Action all day long. Yeah.
Because let's be clear, if you have one choice, right, you can't have both. You can't get better skills. The skills they're useless without action.
Yeah, I'm a Neanderthal. Like, now I just muscle through it and just take as much action as humanly possible.
So we did that in our team huddle today. When I went through that, I said, you have one choice, action or skills. What would move? And when they say action, they really, it helps them self-discover. And that's what I didn't understand is, because many of you may be watching this, and if you've been with us for a while, and Jason, you well know, I love to just puke the information. The information is worthless if they don't own it. You have to believe in it yourself, and it's like me personally, like, yeah, I've got all the information. I've had all the stuff I'm learning in the last week, I've seen from them for free. but um, the information is worthless if I don't own it and am held accountable to it and think it's, and believe in it and it's my idea, not, like that. And that's, it's simple things. It's simple things, but I don't say that in a belittling way of anything. It's just, it's like, I mean, we all see, I think working out and eating right is the easiest thing that we can all connect with. We all know that we shouldn't eat the bag of chips and the cookies. Like, we all know that, but we still do it. But imagine if we didn't every single day, or just got slightly better at every single. And it's that stuff. It's that stuff. But you got to master the mundane, right? And that's the tricky part.
Mhm. Well, let's circle back to this.
Right.
So you make the big decision, you're making the move to join. What's that onboarding process look like for people that are looking to make a similar jump, or kind of saying, okay, well, we talked a little bit about the price, we talked a little bit about the tech stack. You get follow-up bus, 50 seats, you get your Sierra, IDX integrated for your website.
Learning management system too. You get a mobile app and website for all the courses, lots of courses. And by the way, for me as a leader, we get our own portal, and for the agents, like they have buyer agent training, listing agent training, AI powered agent training, open houses, and cool training from the best that have done it at such a high level. Like I can't ever stress that enough, because I've had a lot of trainings before. This is from the best. So adding to the tech stack, though, you get a learning management system, and I mean, the nice part was I told our team, I was like, yeah, you'll have Sierra and that'll be different, but we were already using Follow Up Boss. I mean, that's your main thing. Like, it's not overwhelm of all this new crap.
Shiny objects.
Right. It's here's the tech, and then let's come to onboard. All right, let's come to that, because I've onboarded to a lot of different programs in the past. I've been a real estate agent for 10 years, tried a lot of things. I signed up at 1:00. I was on an onboarding call at 3:30. I was on a group mastermind at 4 with John, same day. I was texted every single day, how are you doing? By the ops manager, Lauren, and making sure I could navigate things. Didn't know where something was at. Shoot a text to this person. They sent me the link. I mean, just people like, no, it wasn't like this. It was, but it was straight to action. There was no BS. Like, it was just, let's go. And like it was in a world of so much automation and so much bullshit, you know what I mean? To people just trying to get away from people.
Yeah.
It was people coming towards people. It was amazing. It was amazing. It was different. It was not what you would expect, but it was it was what you need. You know what I mean?
So do you think that you were enrolled in their boot camp for onboarding, like we enroll agents for our boot camp for onboarding? Pretty structured?
Yeah. I jumped in the middle of the agent. So they have a 6-week agent program. So any agents now that join our team, we have a 6-week Rise Production Academy you get to go through. I'm personally going through it because I'm a believer that you have to do what you're telling others to do. So I'm going through it. You get the book, Exactly What to Say, for real estate agents. Great book. A lot of good stuff. I mean, I loved in the back of it. I haven't fully gone through it yet, but in the back of it, there's literally like just like, so it's a you can't rise. Yeah, you can kind of. There's like,
yeah.
Well,
like if this, then that.
Yeah, like, what do you say to a seller in this situation? Or here's one, right? Like Zillow lead, objection, situation. I just want to know if the home is still for sale. Magic words, like it just gives you what to say. So I mean, there's reading to it too, but it's really good. So anyway, you get that, and you go through this training with Mia, and that it's hard. It's hard because, like, I was trying to explain this on a call to an agent that might join us here, and yes, you get exactly what to say and the numbers and the math but she also hit on so much personal. Like, she told a story. This is really good. I know no other way to communicate this. So sorry, we got to go through it. If you were 16, 15 years old, right? And your mom came in and found a half drank bottle of whiskey, right? You're guilty. And your mom asks you, why did you do this? Like, think about that. Put yourself in that position. You're a 16-year-old, and your parents say, why did you do this? How do you feel?
Drunk. I just had a half bottle.
Is it? No, you're not drunk. It's the next day.
uh,
Why did you do this, Jason? How do you feel?
yeah. I don't even know. No, the guilt, the buyer's remorse kind of settlement going in there. Letting your parents down, all that kind of stuff would have to be creeping in there, and it's like, yeah, terrible.
So, and I got this with my kids. I see this. We ask why. Why would you do that? Why did you think this was smart? What like, well, why is what they're saying. So, but instead of asking why, imagine the same scenario. Parent comes in and says, what did I do that led you to this? And how could I have helped you more in your life so that you wouldn't make this decision? And is there something wrong? Like what's going on? Like just those types of questions instead of why did you do this?
Yeah. Why is definitely everybody gets defensive when you ask why. That's like you said, I've been going deep in the weeds with the self-discovery stuff and the not what to say but how to say type of thing. And like you said, trying to eliminate why from your vocabulary is just so crucial.
And that was huge. Well, and that's where I say it's personal. Well, I mean, there was other stuff too, but to me, it exposed me to how I need to do that better with my kids and not just come at them with the why,
Yeah.
because it's just going to create that defense mechanism. Oh, what do you mean why? Why? This is why.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And there was other levels to that. That's hard, but it really showed me that training really showed me a lot on a professional and a personal level, which is so good. All of it has. So it's been everything it's supposed to be. And then from an agent perspective, we're talking about onboarding, all this stuff. They get a weekly meeting where they get to come in with all the other agents every Thursday at noon. And there's different topics, whether it's the tech stack or lead conversion or mindset or calendar or just, different stuff like that. So they get to interact with the environment and they get their own Facebook group. And they also, get the 6-week boot camp that they can revisit at any time. So they get so much from this. I can't, it's everything a team leader needs to run a team and be an effective leader. And then all the tech that the agents need, it's all there. Now there's no excuses.
Yeah. No, that's the tough part too, right? Now you're in it and you have everything that you need to do to get from where you're at to where you want to go. Now there's a lot more pressure on you now it's like, okay, it's not just okay, all theoretical. Now I got to go out and make it happen. So I think good pressure is always good to have, right? I'm sure you probably have questions from home, right? Like, hey, is this worth it or whatever? And you got that pressure to kind of, show that the investment that you have will have a ROI on that. So that's all good stuff. So, like you said, with all the stuff that you're providing for the team, for yourself, you have the tech stack, right? And it's not just for a team. It's not just, this stuff and go. Talk about the operation side of it, the financial side of it, the coaching side of it, all that kind of aspects of all this other ancillary stuff that the platform provides and who all these different people are and kind of their specialties to kind of help coach you out.
So I'm not new to training agents, that's for sure. And one of the biggest things that agents don't know is their numbers. They never know their numbers. And I'm not saying I'm the best thing in the world, but I'm at least a little bit. I know a little bit of my numbers, but you come in now. I haven't gone down this yet with them, so I haven't gone on that numbers call yet and done all this yet. So we haven't really. But I did watch a replay of one from before because they had it all in their library. They give you the exact spreadsheets, exactly how to calculate all the stuff. They just give it to you. They give you the roadmap for that, and they have a CPA in there that is guiding you on how to, what KPIs to look at, where are your margins, how to improve them, what's a waste of energy and what's not, things like that. So I'm super excited to get in there and do it. Um, it's it's an under looked at area, and having somebody else monthly acknowledge that and keep you accountable to those things is going to be a game changer. I know for me as a team leader, because everybody thinks like, oh, team leaders, oh, they just take half your commission or whatever. Teams are not that profitable. A 20 to 30% profit margin is the goal. That's after expenses. Everybody thinks we take it all and we get it all. Like we don't out of the expenses. And we were not that profitable last year. We were under, I think, 14% last year. We were not what we should have been. So it's really, really good. It exposes you to the agent side where, well, when you get into that, then you know how to articulate to the agents now, like, hey, you're a business owner. You just chose to come to this franchise that's going to alleviate your lead costs. It's going to alleviate your tech stack costs. It's going to alleviate your marketing costs. It's going to alleviate your coaching cost. And you're 50, whatever. Teams are different, 30 to 70, 80%, right? But in our case, 50-50. Your 50% is revenue. You're on a 50% profit margin. I'm on hopefully a 20 if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah, a lot of people think, like I said, it's just this, and this, but that's a good way to explain it. With an agent, when you're just showing that value proposition, hey, for your 50, you get coaching, you get your tech stack, you get your lead gen, you get ABC other system, and all that other stuff that goes along with it for your part that you don't have to kind of figure out on your own. Like you said, the blueprint that you're finding and doing with the Reside platform is the same blueprint agents are onboarding for a team, just a different structure, right? They're trying to accelerate the learning curve, right? Pay their dues so they can build their business up. And then, eventually it's fly, little birdie, fly, or hopefully you're providing enough value for the team where people are going to be like, well, I don't want to go out there and have to do all this and pay all this stuff on my own. I'd rather, have Jay eat that or Chad eat that and go from there.
Yep, it's really, really good. I mean, and it's just at this point, it's just like I said, I think the reason for joining is you look at so many. It's the same reason an agent would join a team. It's like here I am asking agents to give up a percentage of their commission because of proven plan, guidance, all that stuff, right? Why am I not walking the talk as a team leader doing the exact same thing? I'm giving up a chunk of my revenue to have a proven process, support, coaching, accountability, all those things. So it's really just doing that at that level. It's the same thing as joining a team, and I wish, I look back, I never joined a team when I started, and I made it work, but man, I know now that I know what I've helped agents do with our team and stuff, like I really wish I would have, because there was just so much leverage. I mean, there's just so much leverage. I mean, just the fact that we have an admin Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or 9 to 6, that they don't have to pay for, they don't have to train. I mean, I've went through a few, like that, none of that. They've got a proven closing process. Just that alone, I mean, it can cost an agent anywhere from $2 to $5 grand a month. So there's just so much, and in that case, here's the same thing. It's like, yeah, we heard the financial commitment, but it's like I hired the best C-suite in the world for my team for a normal salary, an average salary. If you look at my commitment, and then that was a big thing. And John did this in Nashville, but it's so true. And I never really saw it this way. You hear growth mindset and scarcity mindset. And you hear that big commitment I gave you, and all right, so say I'm paying out 90, 100 grand in a year, something like that. I don't know, maybe more. It could be more. That is, whoa, sorry, my computer just went crazy. There we go. So that is you think of it as, oh wow, that cost, what if I don't, that's a scarcity mindset. That's assuming that it's not going to do what you set out to do. And I think back to like whatever, like Zillow, like when I first bought Zillow, I remember looking at the zip codes, and back then they were much cheaper. And it was like 300-400 a month. And it's not very much to people now, but like to me at the time, that was a lot. That was a lot of money, 500 a month, something like that. But I'm like, okay, if I can make 1 or 2 sales, it's worth it in a year. I was like, wow, it's a really, really good investment. That was a growth mindset, because I'm not thinking of the cost of 500 a month. I'm thinking of, well, as long as I make 1 or 2, I break even, and then I can profit. Like that's a growth mindset. I didn't even realize this. But when you said it that way, and I look, it's the same equation here. It's like, yeah, but 2 or 3 agents that I would have either retained, that are very productive, by the way, that are hitting our average sales, that are either retained or recruited because of this, I break even. If I sell 8 additional homes, I break even. And then in this environment, that is minor. That is, I should be blowing this stuff out of the water because others have already gotten those results. And you want, what you want to get people who have done what you want to do. So it's, I think seeing that in that lens, help them make the
Yeah.
decision. But um,
Well, what I like about it too is it's not just, all apples there, right? You got a good mixture of, one person's good for this particular area of growing your business, one person's good for this particular area. You want to kind of touch on, the leadership model there and kind of their areas of expertise and kind of that guidance there, because I think there's a lot of value for that for individual areas there.
so you mean how it's beneficial to have different viewpoints or
Well,
different?
no, I mean, that's always good too, but you got the coaching set up, right? So you're going to get a coach along with this. So say Sunit is your coach, right? He's big on the KFR, keep effing recruiting. So if you need that help with your business, you have Sunit to go to for your recruiting questions, or you have this person to go forward to this or that. You want to kind of touch on like the operational, like Nick is good at this, and this guy's good at this, or this gal's good at this, or who do we have for that?
Yeah. First off, each of them individually texted me whenever I joined, so like that's huge from their personal cell phone number. Not that they've never interacted before, they did, and I'd seen that, and they walked the talk, but they did. I don't know how else to describe this other than a literal case. Was I texted Sunit and said, "Hey, I have a bunch of agents that I had spoken with, but we didn't have reside in the past, and I want to make them aware of the value. So I'm revisiting. I've got them set up on meetings. What's a good?" And I gave him this gigantic book. All right, I texted him this like book.
You,
Yeah. like, hey, I've done this before. This is the pipeline. I got them from this source, and I've been doing this, and then I'm going to get them on this call. And it's saying I want to make them aware of the Rise Production Academy, and I want to make them aware of the weekly meetings. But what's the best framework? Do you have anything I can use to do that? This is good. He texted me back and he said, have you heard of the Reside platform? Oh, no, cool. Well, let me tell you about it. That's all he said. And, I texted him back and I said, I think I overcomplicate things.
yeah.
Just Jason does. And then, he texted, simple sells. Because the 2 big reasons why people don't take action are fear and overwhelm. And I'm getting people on these calls, and I'm overwhelming them with too much information, with too much stuff. And this is the same, like agents listening, you're doing the same thing and it's the me show to the buyers and sellers, right? I've done this. Oh, I've done that. How does that matter to them? Well, how are you going to solve their problem? Simple sells. And it's getting them that clarity in a simple way, because a clear mind takes action, a clouded mind sits.
Oh, for sure. I think out of all my characteristics, that's definitely the best one I have. I can make it complicated and explain it very simply for anybody to understand. And I think just having that ability is key. And like I said, the fun part about our dynamic and our collaboration is, sometimes I need to have a little bit more explanation, where that's where you come in. Sometimes you need to keep it simple, and that's where I come in. You know what I mean? And we're doing our value props and our recruiting stuff, and he's like, I got this slide, and it's like 75 slides for this presentation. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What do you got? I'm like, would you want to sit through this? And you're like, right. I'm like, if it comes up, then explain it, but you don't have to go so deep into the weeds. But, and I think a light bulb came off when you're like, well, that's the way I would like it, right? That's the way that you learn. You prefer to have all those details, but other people, like you said, might be a lot, and that overwhelm is definitely real there.
Yeah, and I think it comes back to why I did this, is one, to keep me more accountable to that, because clearly, like, okay, you go into a leadership role, like, yeah, I can process a lot of information. I like it that way, but now it's not my job to sell 60 houses in a year. I did that. It's my job to show others how to sell 60 houses in a year, 40 or whatever. They're, 10. It doesn't have to be that crazy number. It's just to meet them where they're at. But and that skill required not less work, Christ, less puking.
Yeah.
And it's something I work on every day, that's for sure. But I've already seen where that has worked for me and where it hasn't. And sure, there's times, by the way, like, no one's got it all figured out. No one's perfect. And there's times where I fall back into the bad habits, and you got to get back into the right. And, it's like your diet. There's times where you do it right, and then you get in bad weeks, or Thanksgiving or Christmas or whatever, but, and that's where coaching comes in. I mean, so just to bring it back to where you asked me, yeah, we'll have some biweekly meetings, and some, I think it's biweekly with a one-on-one for coaching, and then one-on-one weekly with ops, and, all that kind of stuff. And it's really, really good. But it's also, there's, plugging in with the other team leaders and agents in the environment, and just hearing what's working for them. There's that aspect. And then there's just asking questions to the people directly by having their info, so obviously I say this for them, but I also say it for other leaders out there, like, and agents with other leaders. Don't abuse the person. Like, don't text them at Sunday at like 10, you know what I mean? Like, or like, respect their time. Respect is, you got to go both ways. It's valuable that they're willing to be that close with me, but I need to also respect their time, but having that as a resource that's huge. I mean, that can make everything. Like, I mean, then you come back to the growth and scarcity mindset. It's like, do you think, as a team leader, you could recruit an additional 2 agents with 4 of the biggest, baddest team leaders and recruiters and coaches in the world a text away from you in a 12-month period? Two more productive agents, I should say, not just 2 more agents. And then as an agent, even me, forget this team side of it, which is huge. Do I think I'll sell an additional home a month from learning from people who are selling hundreds of homes per year? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
you went down the recruiting path. You kind of touched on the operations. What's that mean? What's that kind of look like?
What do you mean?
So you have a bi-weekly ops meeting. What's that what's the framework for that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know, because it's still new, so at the moment I really don't know. Last week was a bit of a whirlwind. Basically, they were doing everything they can to get my text up and going, make sure I get through the video courses, that kind of onboarding, which, it was funny because actually some of the questions I had just in general were literally answered in the first 4. There's a 4-week onboarding that they did originally that they put in the video course. And I've gone through 3 of the 4, answered exactly what I needed, exactly what to say on the recruiting call, exactly what to say in the interview, exactly what to say to keep them accountable to the things when they join. Like it's literally what I've, and some of it I've even already heard, they've already shared for free, but just going deeper with it and hearing it linear and just, that's been it. But, in terms of the actual one-on-ones, like, I don't know. We're still onboarding, we're still
process. How about taking this nugget away from it? Mm-hmm. Designing your training and boot camp where, when a new agent comes in, that you answer the most frequently asked questions that a new agent might have.
You're saying, how will we amend it moving forward?
No, I'm saying, like, do what they did for you, and you set that up for new agents that are coming into your organization, where you could already figure out, oh, hey, I get question A, B, C, and D from pretty much every agent. Why don't I come up with a process. So then that way,
Well,
when you're onboarded, I can.
that's where I'm going to push back on you, because that's not so. But I think, there's a duality in all things. Like, that's good. You have to have that. Obviously, I just told you how, look, I got to learn from things that they didn't have to spend their time on. That's good leverage for them, 100%. But I already got, like, I have too much of that. That's not my problem. My problem is I need more of that stuff that I told you about. And you can hear what I valued was the human being there that just helped navigate the person through it. And you need both. Like, you need like, hey, this is the general structure and you need to have these things. I've got so much of that. I have so many videos that they can, but I need less of that. I need to trim that down to the bare bones that they need and not waste their time in videos. And I need more human to human, not even just one-on-one, just more like human beings being around,
Yeah.
Um,
No, for sure. No, that's not what I was getting at was, for, I know you're good with the videos and all that, and that's not what you need, but I'm saying for a new agent joining you, maybe that's what they need, is all these questions answered. So, like something like that, a fax.
Yeah. I mean, it's true.
All right. Well, let's change directions then. So monthly you get a conversation with what is it, a CFO, where they're going to kind of look in the numbers and kind of help you go. I mean, you have your bi-weekly meetings, and then you have also, what other support do you get?
That's it. It's so there's like, not that's it, but you have, basically you're meeting with somebody once or twice a week, one-on-one. You have 3 leadership masterminds a week and 1 or 2 agent masterminds a week, that are group sessions to plug into, and the LMS and the Facebook groups. But
So break down those weekly meetings. It's not the same meeting every day, right? So is it on a different topic? Is it on?
Yeah, I kind of mentioned that. It's, I mean, some of them are lead conversion, some of them are your calendar. You're not listening because I said that.
I'm looking at my notes. I'm not picking it up.
Well, the people watching know. You've been exposed. No, it's okay. What did Matt say? Matt Smith, right? You have to say it 7 times, or you haven't said it once.
Sure.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, look, it takes the guesswork out of it, from the leadership perspective, and of course that directly translates into the agents. I had a proven process in terms of, I know what I did to sell 60 homes my second year, right? And then to jump back in the trenches, and so I've sold 4 houses in the last 30 days. Like, I the same stuff that worked before works now. um, you know but on the side of it, of growing and scaling and leading people as best as possible, this environment helps plug those holes that I had as a leader, and gives us the tech stack that we need to operate in, and show us, it's one thing to have the tech, but it's another to use it properly. And this shows us people who are using it successfully. Because I was so sick of signing up for technology, and you're getting some B player who's not really done it, but loves technology and does not show you how to move the needle with it. It's really good tech, but it doesn't show you how to move the needle with it. I'm sick of that. I've done plenty of that.
Yeah.
Too much of that. So
Nice. Well, we'll have to do a 6-month follow up to, or maybe we'll break it down, quarterly follow ups with you to kind of check your progress. But super pumped for you, man. I think it's awesome. I know where you want to go with the team, and yourself as a leader. So I think this is going to be an awesome next step for you. And I think, like you said, you kind of got me in the same rooms with a lot of these same people, and I could see why you're doing it, and super excited to see where you go.
Yeah, and it comes back to the point of, one thing to maybe learn from my travels, anybody watching this, is, I always used to think only money should be invested in lead generation, because, and that's, I mean, it worked a little bit. Don't get me, I mean, but one thing I never did in my rise up was pay for coaching much. Now I've done it in the last few years a little bit, and it's a huge part. Yeah, everybody. Tom Brady had multiple coaches, right? He's got coaching on strength and conditioning and how to throw it, and then the strategy of the play, and then I mean, there's coaches.
Well, speaking of one of your coaches and lead generation, Nick McLean posted a good comment the other day where it was like, if you're so invested in lead conversion or lead generation, take a look at your last month's spend and see kind of what that did for you. You know what I mean? And then that should help you predict your current month spend with that, which a lot of people just think like, just turn on the faucet and let the leads come in. But if it's like, you don't have any kind of way to work, I mean, don't have any kind of systems and processes, kind of like I said, to get them to the finish line, like what's the point of buying them?
Well, because the cost of the lead is not just the cost of this lead, but all the ones that you haven't followed up with too. They tack on, and that's and that he posted that, and that's really, really good. And I think that's the thing about it is having somebody coach you on how to go deep and not wide, is huge. But aside from the coaching aspect, like when you meet someone for the first time and they ask you, like you just meet them and you're like, hey, let's go to the movies, or hey, let's go do this together. It's like, well, they're not very likely to, they don't trust you. They don't really know you, but if you've known somebody for 6 months or a year or 3 years, you're a lot more likely to do those things. Well, it's the same thing with your leads, I mean, a brand new lead, everybody thinks a new, like hot lead, new lead, like it's not, sometimes your older leads are the better ones because they're more closer to taking that action, and you just got to be in front of them at that time. And that's part of the game. So it's about going deeper, not wider. And it's about forming it's like extending your sphere. It's like, yeah, you got your sphere, but then the leads are opportunities for you to build further rapport and extend that sphere, but you have to make friends with them. Like I've always said, your communication needs to sound like you would with like a friend at a birthday party or at a bar or something like that, or out for dinner, because that's what you need. You're extending your sphere. Like but we're ones and zeros and people and just jobs, and we call it business because we think it's different than, but it's like, strip away the bullshit, everybody. Like we're human beings. We're all, they need help buying or selling because they haven't done it as often as you have, or the training has led you from somebody who's done it more than they have. You can help them navigate the process, but you need to get them to know, like, and trust you. So cut the other shit and just focus on them. Go deep with them over a long period of time and earn their trust. Then you'll get what you want. Like it's all the things. So
no. Love it, man. Well, I think that would be a good point to wrap up. I think, if anybody wants more information, we could pin a comment with the Reside platform on there, and they could go search out that. But I think it's a solid investment. Like I said, different strokes for different folks or whatever, depending on where you're at in your business. Maybe something to look for the audience. And I think I'm super excited on your journey, man. And it's going to be good. And I'm going to be vicariously riding by your side to see all the steps along the way, and then maybe eventually make the plunge myself. There you go.
Yeah.
Asking you shall receive, peeps.
I made a post and I somebody asked about it, and I commented with that link. Facebook flagged it and took it down, said I was trying to steal their information. So just in case that would happen again, I got, like, literally they removed the post. I've never had a post removed on Facebook, so that was the first for me.
Facebook is cracking down on redirecting people from their site, I think. If you have any kind of exterior web links or anything like that, they're posting it as whatever. Because I just had something for, like a video walkthrough for a place I was selling, or a link for an MLS listing, and they flagged me too and took it down as discrimination or something. You're looking at it, you're like, oh man, what the hell? I'm being racist or something.
So in case I am on Facebook jail, just go to Reside platform.
Facebook jail, for sure. So you got the link there. If you want any more information, hit chat up. He can get you with the right peeps. And man. Till next time.
Till then.